Man, when that Rothstein reaction notification hits, I'm tuned in. Still good, by the way. Shout out to Jon Rothstein on his little preseason tour that he does in college basketball. He gets to sit in on practices. He's also doing great stuff like talking to coaches, getting these interviews and things like that. I always very much enjoy watching that content. But Rothstein was able to sit in at Duke practice and had one of his classic Rothstein reaction videos. So I want to play his reaction to Duke practice, and then I want to talk a little bit about it. Here we go.
Jon Rothstein with this Rothstein reaction outside Cameron Indoor Stadium. And after watching Duke practice today in Durham, the player that I walk away practice from being most impressed with is talented freshman Dame Sarr. Cam Boozer was a known commodity. Caleb Foster and Isaiah Evans were known commodities, and they looked the part in the backcourt. But the talented Sarr right now looks like the projected favorite to potentially start for the Blue Devils at small forward. Two other players are also vying for the spot, sophomore guard Darren Harris and talented freshman Nick Kamenia. But Sarr was absolutely sensational over the last 45 minutes of practice today. His defense created offense, and he also comfortably made open threes in the corner. Dame Sarr, buy stock now. But remember, this is only October.
My dog Rossi, man. This the camera angles on the selfie videos, the tone, the buy stock now. And remember, it's only October. I will forever respect my guy on this one. Dion, I'll throw it to you first for your thoughts on this one. Obviously, you are our brotherhood spokesperson. And, in these settings, you and J Man are brotherhood twinskies in that regard. So I'll throw it to you first on hearing this news because correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like a lot of the stuff surrounding Duke has been like Dame Sarr is like not looked the part for the most part. So I'll throw it to you first.
First thing I want to say, Caleb Foster, not a known commodity by any
Yeah,
means.
I was gonna say that too. We're just gonna sneak that Caleb Foster known commodity thing in there and think we're not gonna we're just gonna graze over that.
I'm on to you, John. I'm on to you. No, Caleb Foster definitely not a known commodity. Isaiah Evans is, I guess. Like definitely not trying to deny that. And maybe to an extent, Caleb Foster is a known commodity from the standpoint of we knew he was on the roster. And that was kind of what John Rothstein was getting at because he's been around for so long. Um, The interesting portion of it, I don't know if he said this in the quote or I read this on his Twitter. You correct me either way, but he mentioned that Dame Sarr is hitting threes. To me, that if Dame Sarr is doing that, not only is he the very clear starter, not only is he very clearly a lottery pick, but Duke's also the best team in the country. Because I don't think anyone's questioning if Dame Sarr is what he's going to do defensively. He's arguably the most athletic player in college basketball, incredible wingspan, very active on that end of the floor. I think he's going to be one of the best defenders in the country, if not the best defender in the country from a perimeter standpoint, at least. But if he's hitting shots on the other end, that's what makes him the starter. I felt like that's kind of what we've been told all summer isn't happening. Um, so that's very curious to me. Like if it is all of a sudden, I mean, definitely buy stock in Dame Sarr. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. Whether it's now, in the future, so on and so forth. Dame Sarr is a guy that has top five, top 10 potential in the draft. He mentioned that there was four other guys vying for the role. He didn't mention their names, so I will. Nick Kamenia, Nick Kamenia, Nick Kamenia, and Nick Kamenia.
No, we're not
And
gonna do that. You missed it, Dion. He shot it out. He did shout out two guys specifically with Dame Sarr.
Sebastian Wilkins.
No, it was Darren Harris and Kamenia. Those are the two guys that he said are vying for that spot.
Nick Kamenia, Nick Kamenia, Nick Kamenia, Nick Kamenia. Nick Kamenia is coming. Like simple as that. Like Nick Kamenia is on the way, and it started during the U19s, and I think Nick Kamenia is very much so in this battle. Darren Harris, burner, but like respectfully, I don't buy that he's starting over the two five-star like NBA Lotto talent guys.
So, obviously 56-second reaction here, but I think actually a lot to take from this. So I want to go like kind of segment by segment here, my thoughts on this 56 seconds here. First of all, I don't want anyone to take for granted the fact that Cam Boozer is so good and such a winner and all that he is as a player that he just gets the known commodity thing thrown on him and you don't even gotta talk about it. It's like Cam Boozer's Cam Boozer. Y'all know what that's gonna look like. He's gonna be a top three pick. He's gonna be all this. He's gonna be, all the accolades, everything that's gonna happen with Cam Boozer. We can just move on from that right away. But I just want to point out that's how special that he is. We brush past that. It's like, yeah, it's Cam Boozer. What do you think? Okay, obviously, so we're moving on here. For me, this Dame Sarr news is it's important in this regard. I think the best version of Duke is with Dame Sarr, playing the role and being the player that he can be and potential that he can be with this Duke team, right? I think that if Dame Sarr is this wing 3 and D guy, or he's just this wing guy that's able to knock down shots, he's able to cut also because I think it's also essential that not only you have a really good player that can knock down shots next to Cam Boozer, but also think you need guys that are able to know when to cut, when to get in the open spots, because I think Cam Boozer is a really, really good playmaker, but obviously he needs guys to be in the right spot so he can make those plays. So Dame Sarr is able to do that. And like Rothstein State, over the last 45 minutes of their practice, he was knocking down shots. He was everywhere on the floor. That raises Duke's ceiling, I think, astronomically. And, I think that Duke's going to be a good basketball team. I'm not saying that if Dame Sarr doesn't work out, they're kind of screwed because, in my opinion, also, like, guys like Sebastian Wilkins have had moments this summer. I love that he pointed out Darren Harris. I was a massive Darren Harris guy out of high school. I truly do think that there is a world where Darren Harris does start for this basketball team, and I think it'd be the right move for Duke in that regards because I think that he could shoot the ball extremely well. I think he has good size, and I think that John Shire trusts him too. So it'll be interesting to see how the Harris role kind of works out there. He did bring up your guy Nick Kamenia as well in this regard. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it works out for that last spot. Dion, what do you think is the starting lineup for Duke to start the year? And let's say what is Duke's starting lineup come ACC play? Or is it the same?
Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm, that's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girl sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy, love his wife. Love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more.
I think the starting lineup I definitely don't think it's the same. Respectfully to Caleb Foster. Um, I think it starts with Caleb Foster because it has to. Right? Because of like how like the veteran presence. I think you kind of know what you're going to get out of him. And I think in the beginning of the year, that's what you're looking for. So I think it's Caleb Foster, Isaiah Evans, Dame Sarr, Cam, Big Pat. I think you end Caden, Isaiah Evans, Dame Sarr, Cam, Big Pat. The starting five I want, Dame Sarr, Isaiah Evans, Nick Kamenia, Cam, Big Pat. Let's just remove the point guard.
You really think there's gonna be a world where they just remove the point completely? I mean, I don't think I'd be completely shocked, given that like even last year's Duke team, like Conkin did a lot of point guard things a lot of times. Cooper Flag did some playmaking things. They did have Tyrese Proctor, but like Tyrese Proctor was never really a point guard in my eyes. But I do think that that lineup that you bring up without the point guard, I think brings a lot of size, a lot of versatility, a lot of good stuff on the defensive end. But the scary part about it is that lineup is very dependent on Dame Sarr being being what he's supposed to be. So if he's what Rothstein saw the last 45 minutes of practice, then you're good. If he's not, I don't want to take words out of Greg's mouth, but like Greg said, there's a world where like a hot this is a hot take now by him. He's like Dame Sarr is not even with the team come December.
I don't know about that portion.
Okay, you can't leave the Brotherhood, right? Is that why?
Yeah, I mean, once you're like, who's ever transferred out of Duke?
Oh, there's been a lot of guys that transferred out of Duke.
Give me two.
Alex O'Connell transferred out of Duke.
Right.
Um,
What's he doing?
Not too sure. Jaden
Okay.
Shute transferred out of Duke. Sean Stewart transferred out of Duke. TJ Power. There's a lot of guys.
What are they up to at the moment?
They're hooping
Yeah, somewhere.
in college.
Right. And then the guys that stick around at Duke, where do they go?
The NBA.
Right. So like that's it's like one of those things where like yes, you can transfer out of Duke. It doesn't normally go well. But when you transfer into Duke, Cedric Coward, respectfully,
Oh, stop it. We're not. We done so good in not like letting Cedric Coward be claimed by Duke. I'm not gonna allow it here. I'm sorry.
that's why he's a lot of pick. Wazoo Cedric Coward was in the portal. Duke Cedric Coward's in the NBA. It's as simple as that.
It's
It's as simple as
insane.
that.
I hate that it's true, but it's also just insane. Truly, truly insane. I do want to point out that, you know, if I'm a Duke fan, this is what I want to hear. Because I think that, like I said, the best version of Duke is Dame Sarr being like this elite 3 and D wing guy. And that is very, very much, I think, it's hinging on the fact that he can knock down shots. And if he's able to knock down open threes in the corner, that's really all you need from him. And then also being able to cut, finish, use his athleticism. And it's nice to see this because I feel like all summer all we gotten is other guys. Sebastian Wilkins, Nick Kamenia, Darren Harris. This is kind of the first positive Dame Sarr stuff we heard in a while. So it'll be interesting to see how that does affect Duke's roster and maybe what that starting lineup looks like. But I think once the first game occurs, we will be very much locked in on what that starting lineup looks like and also how it takes shape and maybe changes or stays the same throughout the year.
What do you think the starting lineup is?
I think it's Foster Evans. I'm gonna go Darren Harris,
Ooh.
Cam Boozer, Big Pat.
So we have an Owen Meyer, Jakari Harris bet already, right? Or did you have CJ Cox?
No, I had either Cox. You gave me Cox or Harris, and you
And
had
I,
Omer.
okay. You have Harris. I have either Sarr or Kamenia.
Deal. All right, deal. And also write this down 'cause I'm keeping track. I know you remember typically, but like I'm writing this down to keep track. But shout out to Duke. I think their first exhibition game is probably later this month. So I think we'll get a really good idea on what that looks like. But to wrap this up and bring this full circle for the Brotherhood, thumbs up because you're getting positive Dame Sarr news, and that's exactly what this Duke team needs, and that's what I think will make them scary this season.